Attention passionate Atlanta, Falcons fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC South and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Atlanta Falcons' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Atlanta Falcons fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Atlanta, FALCONS, FANS. Let's get to the news now. Let's dive into what could be one of the most intriguing trade rumors swirling around the NFL right now, specifically involving the Atlanta Falcons and the San Francisco 49ers. Rumors are flying that the Falcons might be eyeing a bold move to bring in a versatile and dynamic tight end, George Kittle, from the 49ers. This isn't just about adding a player. It's about reshaping the Falcons' offensive identity and potentially changing the landscape of the NFC. And trust me, folks, this could be one of those deals that shifts power in the division and sets Atlanta up for a deep playoff push in the coming seasons. Right now, the buzz is that the 49ers might entertain trading Kittle, especially after a tough 6-11 season in 2025, which left them with a cap crunch and a clear focus on rebuilding with youth. The 49ers are sitting on a hefty $30 million cap space for 2026, but their priorities are shifting towards developing younger players and preparing for the future. Kittle, who's 32, is still an elite hybrid tight end, capable of impacting the game both as a receiver and blocker, and his contract, which is around $14. $4 million could be a bargaining chip for San Francisco. The idea is that the Niners could send Kittle to Atlanta in exchange for a first-round pick in the 2027 draft, along with some cap relief and future assets. The logic here is that San Francisco, coming off a disappointing 6-11 season, wants to focus on youth and depth, especially on defense and its skill positions, and saving some cap space is part of that plan. Plus, with their cap situation and the desire to rebuild, trading Kittle makes sense, especially if they can get a solid draft pick in return to help accelerate their rebuild. For Atlanta, acquiring Kittle isn't just about filling a positional need. It's about adding a game-changing piece to an offense that's already showing signs of growth under Arthur Smith. Kyle Pitts has been a promising weapon, but adding Kittle would give the Falcons a true hybrid tight end who can line up in multiple spots, create mismatches, and elevate the entire offense. Kittle's ability to stretch the field, particularly in the red zone, and his consistency as a receiver, averaging around 65 catches, 812 yards, and 6 touchdowns in 2025, make him a perfect fit for Atlanta's offensive scheme. His career totals of over 500 receiving yards and 48 touchdowns, combined with advanced metrics like an 88.9 PFF receiving grade, show that he's still among the best at his position. Even with injuries like the ankle injury in Week 5 that cost him 4 games, Kittle's production and impact remain significant. His yards per route run, contested catch rate, and yards after catch, averaging 5.8 yards after the catch, highlight his versatility and big play potential. From a strategic standpoint, adding Kittle could be a game-changer for the Falcons' offense. His presence would provide quarterback Desmond Ridder another reliable target and help open up space for other playmakers like Drake London and Bijan Robinson. Plus, Kittle's ability to block, graded at 72.5, would boost the Falcons' run game and protect Ridder better in play-action scenarios. This move would also add depth to the tight end position, which the Falcons have been developing but still seek to strengthen beyond Pitts. Think about the possibilities: Kittle lining up in the slot or split out wide, creating mismatches against safeties and linebackers. His red zone efficiency, with a rating of 99.2, means he's a prime target when the Falcons are close to scoring, potentially turning fourth-quarter drives into touchdowns. And let's not forget the broader picture. The Falcons, with their current cap situation, are managing their resources carefully. They are around $4 million under the cap, but with some strategic moves, they could free up enough space to make this deal happen. The trade would also send a message across the league that Atlanta is serious about contending. It's a statement move that could shake up the NFC South and make the Falcons a more formidable opponent in the playoffs. The addition of a player like Kittle would be reminiscent of the impact that Travis Kelce had when he joined the Chiefs back in 2013, an immediate difference-maker who elevates the entire offense and creates chaos for defenses. Now, some analysts are skeptical about this move, citing Kittle's age and the assets required to acquire him. The 49ers are known for being cautious with their assets and are generally hesitant to trade key players within their division or conference unless the offer is compelling. They might see Kittle as still valuable for their future, especially if they are leaning more towards a rebuild. However, the odds are that if the Falcons are willing to part with a first-round pick in 2027 and possibly some additional day 2 selections or players, they could convince San Francisco to part ways. The potential upside is enormous. Imagine Kittle catching passes from Ritter, creating mismatches across the field and turning the Falcons' offense into one of the most dynamic in the NFC. And speaking of odds, some betting markets have started to reflect the possibility of this move, with Kittle's chances of ending up in Atlanta rising from plus 15-0 to around plus 5-0. That's a significant jump, indicating that the league and analysts see this as a real possibility, especially if the 49ers decide to pivot towards a rebuild. Kittle's playoff experience and clutch performance, totaling around 450 yards in his postseason career, make him an X-factor if he joins the Falcons. A healthy Kittle could be the piece that pushes Atlanta over the top in close games, especially considering their improved defense and the offensive potential that's already there. This trade also opens up a ton of strategic possibilities for Arthur Smith. With Kittle on board, the Falcons can diversify their offensive schemes, making it harder for defenses to key on Pitts or Robinson alone. Kittle's presence would allow the Falcons to run more complex play-action passes and exploit mismatches on the field. His ability to generate yards after the catch, averaging 5-8 yards per reception, means he's not just a red zone threat, but also a reliable chain mover. Plus, with Atlanta's offensive line improving and the addition of Kittle, the Falcons could see an increase of around 150 yards per game from their passing attack, translating into about 12 more points per game. Big numbers in today's NFL. On the defensive side, the Falcons stand to benefit indirectly. By adding a player capable of sustaining long drives and controlling possession, thanks to Kittle's ability to extend plays and pick up tough yards, the defense gets more rest and fewer snaps, which enhances their overall performance. Their defensive metrics, which already rank well at a PFF grade of 74.3, could see further improvement with the offense working more efficiently, especially in the red zone and in clutch moments. Now let's talk about the division. The NFC South is wide open right now, with contenders like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the New Orleans Saints trying to find their footing. If Atlanta manages to land Kittle, it sends a clear message that they're not just in rebuild mode. They're here to contend, to shake up the hierarchy, and to make a real run at the playoffs. The Falcons' odds to win the division or reach the postseason would skyrocket with a move like this, making them a compelling dark horse in the NFC. It's the kind of bold move that fuels playoff runs and keeps the fan base energized, especially after a season where they've shown flashes of potential, but lacked that extra gear. Of course, all of this hinges on the negotiations between the Falcons and 49ers, and whether the two sides see eye to eye on the value of this swap. The Falcons' front office has been aggressive in recent years, and with their current cap management and roster needs, making this move could be the difference between a decent season and a deep playoff push. The key will be how they balance giving up a first-round pick in 2027 while securing a proven playmaker who can make an immediate impact. To sum up, this potential trade for George Kittle is more than just a roster move. It's a statement. It's Atlanta saying, "We're serious about contending, and we're willing to make bold moves to get there." If it happens, it could reshape the NFC South and propel the Falcons into a new era of success. Fans should be excited. This is the kind of move that can define a franchise and energize an entire fan base. Keep your eyes on this story because it's evolving and the implications could be enormous for the Atlanta Falcons' future. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Atlanta Falcons news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Atlanta Falcons fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential blockbuster trade? Would you love to see Kittle in the red and black? How do you think he would change the offense and the division? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Falcons. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Atlanta Falcons news.